Today we're checking out the OE Style Aluminum Radiator for the 2009 to 2018 Ram 1500s. If your truck is running warm, dripping coolant, or the stock radiator just isn't cutting it anymore, this is a clean drop-in replacement that brings your cooling system back to where it should be without any hassle, so it's definitely worth checking out. The key feature here is going to start with that OE style and the direct fit design. So it bolts in just like stock and lines up with your factory hoses and mounts. You're going to be getting a lightweight aluminum core with a tube and fin layout that moves heat very efficiently. It's a single row core that helps keep the weight down while still delivering some solid cooling for hauling, towing, and daily driving miles. Most folks step to a new radiator like this when the original starts leaking at the seams, the fins are corroded and they start getting bent over, or the temps just creep up while you're in traffic. Swapping to a unit like this restores reliable cooling, helps protect head gaskets and transmission temperatures, and it just keeps the truck happy when you're putting it to work. Now when it comes to the construction on this radiator uses a full aluminum core paired with a tube and fin design that dumps heat fast. It also uses heat and wear resistant PVC for the connections, and the seams are built to hold pressure, and those inlets and outlets are cut to OE specs, so your hoses are going to seal up tight. Mounting points match the factory locations, so once it's in, it sits solid and rattle free just like the original. As far as pricing goes on this, it's coming in right in that mid $100 price range. So for a direct fit aluminum radiator that installs like stock and brings back dependable cooling, that is a very solid price that's really hard to beat for such a high quality aluminum engine part. When it comes to the install on this, it's gonna get rated just a 1 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter, and you can get this job done in 2 hours of your time. Now let's see exactly how this install goes with a video from one of our AmericanTrucks customers.
These are the tools that we used today. So we used a wrench for the hoses. We used ratchets with sockets, 13 millimeter and 12 millimeter. We used wrenches, 13 millimeter and 10 millimeter. We also used extensions. We used an Allen wrench. I ended up using the pick and the needle nose and the bungee just for support. All right, I'm going to be replacing my old radiator off of my 2016 Ram 1500. I'm going to be replacing it with this new radiator. First thing you want to not do is you do not want to touch these coils. You don't want to smash them down, so hold it with the sides. Before we get started, you may want to disconnect the battery and make sure your parking brake is on. And then I'm going to walk you through step by step what I'm going to be doing with the removal. So I'm going to show you on the bottom here, there's going to be a little bolt. You're going to use an Allen wrench or an Allen socket, 10 millimeter, and you're going to remove it, or you're going to twist it, and it will bleed out the overflow liquid. I'll show you that right now. Okay, so that's my catch can. That catch can is going to catch the fluid from my overflow, the antifreeze in the overflow. And I'm going to show you the bolt right now. So this right here is what you're going to use your Allen wrench on, or your Allen socket. And this is where it's going to drain. Now a lot of guys, they put the drain tube on here, and I don't have one. So I'm just going to let it drain straight into my bucket here. Let's see how much I have, since I've been overheating. Come on. There we go, it's moving. We're gonna let that drain all the way, and then we're gonna go up top and we're gonna open the lid so it gets it loses pressure and air will flow. Got a lid there. Okay, so the next step is we're going to want to take this shroud off, and we're going to take the upper radiator hose off. So, I'm going to grab some pliers here. I still have my catch can down there. That's mainly for the bottom one. Let's move this guy back. Okay, And then I'm going to show you right here. So this power clip for the fan has to be removed. There we go. All right, finally. So we got to remove that guy right there. Then remove this hose. Now, to get this hose out of the way, we'll be able to unbolt the shroud with a 13mm socket. There we go. Finally. All right, so that's separated. We can move that out of the way. And then you're gonna have these two bolts, one on the driver's side and one on the passenger side. We're gonna use the 13mm to remove those and then get the shroud out. Passenger side. Looks like I'm able to get it the rest of the way out with just using my fingers. Let's see, it should just pull out now, hopefully. So the connector for the power for the fan just had a little plastic piece that secured it. I just popped it out. And then this shroud connects on the bottom as well. So I'm gonna have to remove that. See if I can separate them. Okay, this is a full shroud that goes all the way around. So let's see what we can do about pulling this radiator out. All right, so another 13mm bolt there. See if we can't just loosen that up there. Here. Okay. So that's how we're going to have to do it. Right now I am going to take the bottom radiator hose off. You're going to take it off just like you took the top one off with your wrench. And I have my bucket down there, so it's going to catch all the fluid. Now we're going to take off the air conditioning hoses, or I'm sorry, the air conditioning brackets that attach to the radiator. And then right here, the air conditioning lines are connected to a bracket that are connected to the radiator. And we're going to use the 10mm socket to remove these. There's a bracket here. And then we've got the nut on the back side here. There's a nut on the back side. And then there's one on the side. I'm using a wrench ratchet. Let's see if we get this one first. And you can use your fingers the rest of the way on that one, it looks like. Make sure you put all your bolts and screws in a safe place. I've got mine in a bucket so they don't get lost. Let's see if we can use a little ratchet. Let's see if I can get it out with my fingers now. It can seem to work. I put it in between the two lines. Yep, there we go. So I just used a ratchet with a short socket, put it in between the two lines, and voila. So once that's out, I'm going to come over here. We are now going to be removing these two bolts that screw the bracket from the radiator into this transcooler here. Okay, looks like we have two more brackets right here. Oh, I'm sorry, two more bolts, another bracket. Once I took the bolts out to release this bracket, you have to come over here and you're gonna have to do the same thing. Here's another bracket right here, but we're gonna take this bolt out, and it's a 13 millimeter. Alright, so that is out. Perfect. So in the same spot, there's another one about a foot down. Same exact situation. Okay, so it's gonna be 10 millimeter, but my 10 millimeter socket didn't work. However, my 10 millimeter ratchet wrench did. So you might need a wrench for this, or a ratchet wrench like I'm using. Okay, so let's see if you can see right down there. You see there's that piece connecting from this AC trans unit to our radiator right here. So we need to, after everything's unbolted like we just did, we need to slide this out, and that's what I'm going to be doing right now. All right, so that slid out after all the brackets were taken off. Let's see. Oh, it'd be a lot easier if that shroud was out. How to get that shroud off. See if we can. Might have to take the fan off. Like before, just hoping this would slide out without taking the fan off. Let's see if this here will come off. Okay. So, on the bottom of this electrical fan, like this right here, very bottom there was a clip. I removed that clip. So maybe we can get this free and this will slide out, because this shroud is not coming out. So maybe we can get the fan off. Let's see what we have. Try not to mess up anything with the air conditioning here. So, see these tabs on the fan, pull back, and then you pull up. There we go. There. I'll show you. This little tab. All right. That fan is off. Sweet. Let's see if we can't get this radiator out now. Let's see. There we go. There we go. Gives us a little more room so we can pull this radiator out. Okay. All right. A little bit better. Yeah, much better. Finally the radiator is out. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to compare them and then move these rubber grommets. Move these rubber grommets over. So compare the two, make sure I got what it really is. There you go. Okay, so now I'm just gonna move the grommets over. Okay, so I moved over these rubber grommets on both sides, and I also moved over these rubber bushings here. And then I put the cap on for now because I don't want anything to fall into it. And I'm also keeping these on until I put the hoses back on. Okay, let's figure out how to get this sucker back in. Again, be careful of the fins. You don't want to damage your cooling fins on your radiator. Most people don't have the proper tool to fix that these days. Alright, let's see if I can use a little bungee to hold this. There we go, perfect. Hold this back. Hold back this little trans cooler. To mount the radiator yet, but maybe we can just put it in place and put one of the bolts in, so it just kind of holds it up while we try to put the fan back in. There we go. Make sure it lines up here. Just need to thread it, maybe 2 or 3 threads on this side, and then we'll do the other side. Okay. Kind of get this one lined up. You don't want to tighten it. We're just doing this so it holds it in place while we try to figure out how to get the fan back in. A couple turns. Perfect. Last time we had to bend this shroud a little bit to get that fan. And I don't want to damage my new radiator, so you gotta be super careful. We may end up having to take these out after all and pushing this back a little more, but we're gonna find out. Okay, so look at your fan, make sure that that is accurate. The way you're putting it in, you do not want to put it in backwards, because if you successfully get it in without damaging anything, you're not gonna want to have to do it a second time if it's not right side up. There we go. There we go. Let that shroud up a little. Nice. Going in better than it came out. Make sure you're not damaging your radiator. There we go. That's it. Fan mounted in its brackets. That one's in now. That one's seated fine. Now I gotta get this one, but this one doesn't want to. It's almost like it's short. And then, okay, yeah, that's perfect. Let's see if I can push this down now. Okay, so now before we put the shroud back on, I guess let's start putting that trans cooler, bolting it back up. We'll do that before we tighten the screws for the radiator. So here's the bracket. I don't know if you remember, but there were 2 brackets. There was a bracket on the top and there was a bracket on the bottom. And we used the 13 millimeter and a 10 millimeter. The large one was a 13 and the smaller one was the 10 millimeter. So we're gonna put those back on just the way we took them off. Now when you're going through this bowl of screws, and you're looking at the ones in where they belong, if you're unsure, you could always go to the old radiator, and in the exact same spot you're trying to put it in, you can look on the old radiator. So I'm gonna take this and make sure it fits where I think it goes. Let's see if I can get the wrench now. See if I can't tighten it with this. Let's see if I move it in there. Yeah, looks like it. I like when I screw them in, I don't screw them in all the way, and I don't screw them in tight at first, because you want a little bit of play. That way you can hit certain angles. Like I'm in a tough spot, but I can move this bracket slightly just so I can get this other screw in. It works. This bracket goes right in there and holds that. So I'll show you in a second, but in the meantime, see if we can't brace this one more time, because I don't want to bend these AC lines. Okay. So right here, I'm going to bolt this back up and then slide it in here, and I'll show you. So this slides right into here, and then this raises up, and you screw that right in there. This little bracket slides into this part of the radiator, and then there's 2 bolts, and that's what secures this. As you can see, I'm now bolting this bracket back up because I forgot to slide this one back in. So this one stays permanently. This does not come off. And that one slides in. And this one bolts in. So you slide it and then bolt it. So right now, I just got that one in. Gonna loosen that, tighten that up slightly. And then now I'm gonna do this one before I tighten it all up. All right, so here's my bracket. So we slide it in, like I showed you. Okay, and then we're gonna bolt these back up. And it's gonna support the top part. Perfect. Let's get that bottom on. Okay, got that one. Okay, this is the last part pretty much. You gotta make sure all this is tightened up. You put all that back. We got this one here. Okay, there it is. Right down there. And this one there, got it. Okay. This one was tough earlier. Okay, so now we have our brackets on. The top bracket, and then that bottom bracket down there, all right? And this top bracket up here. So the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna get the fan shroud back on, and then we're gonna plug in the AC fan. Make sure you don't forget to put your little clip on top and your clip on bottom for the fan, the electric fan. Then we're gonna get the shroud on. Okay, so now that the brackets are tightened, you put your hoses back on, put the shrouders back on. Let's see. So, the shrouders on, we need to tighten those. We need to tighten the radiator bolts. First, let's get this hose back on. So that hose is back on. You do the same thing with the bottom as you did at the top. And then now let's get the 13 millimeter blade, and we will tighten up the shroud. Alright. Okay, that side's tightened. You just want to do it hand tight. You don't want to make it too tight. Just snug and then an extra twist. Alright, so this one here. snug, and then another turn there, not too tight. Alright, and then let's tighten up the radiator. There we go. Okay, make sure it's snug. If you tighten it too much, you risk breaking something, and you really don't want that, especially after all the work you just did. Alright, then of course you attach your overflow to your radiator. Okay, now you're just going to plug in your AC fan here. Okay, let's see, that way right there. Alright, snapped. Now you can take your, okay, now that's all done. That's pretty much it. Now you're ready to fill it with water, put some antifreeze in it, then you plug in your battery terminals, and you're done.
All right, that's gonna wrap up our review and install of the OE Style Aluminum Radiator for the 2009 to 2018 Ram 1500s. And for all things Ram, keep it right here at American Trucks.